Everyone, I'm going to take a look at the Ligue Player of the Season pack on eFootball. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description for each player, so if you want to hear about a particular player, click the description, there'll be a link to take you straight to them. We've got 18 players in this pack, there's one from each club in Ligue 1. Let's have a look at who we got. All 5 stars. We'll start with Abergel. So this guy's a box-to-box DMF, can also play CMF. Box-to-box playing style will be active in both those positions. He can also play right back, but we're not going to bother looking at him as a right back because clearly he's nowhere near quick enough. As midfielder though, I'll have a look at what they've changed from his GP card. This is, I'm pretty sure, the first version of him that they've done, special version. They've nerfed his defending a bit from his GP card based on auto allocation. His physical and some of his technicals are up. Yeah. So he's had a, physical and technicals have had a nice boost. The rest has had a slight boost, just the defending's down a bit. Skill-wise, they've added through passing and interception. So 2 very nice additions for a midfielder. Already had rising shot, long range shooting, and through passing, weighted pass. Would be nice if he had one-touch pass as a bit of a miss. Track back, interception, captaincy, fighting spirit. So he's got a bit of everything as a centre mid. One-touch pass, the only real miss there. Yeah, he kind of tidy enough on the ball. Passing a little bit iffy for me. I'd like a bit more there. The defensive attributes are pretty strong. For a box-to-box centre mid, they're very strong. As a DMF, tackling and engagement both going past 90 with the game plan boost, and we're into the 80s in the other 2. So yeah, he's pretty strong defensively. The pace, not the quickest, but he could be slower. Kicking power is decent. He's got a bit of physical contact. Balance is decent. Stamina's good. That's going past 90 with your game plan boost. Unwavering form. Yeah, he's kind of got some qualities. He's kind of got the essentials really, but just not a great deal more. I think obviously defensively pretty strong, but annoying that the area where he's strongest in terms of his attributes is where he's actually lost a few points off his base card. But yeah, in all honesty, outside of fans of Lorient, I don't think many people are going to be too keen to try and get this guy. I don't think he's a particularly weak card, but I don't think he's a particularly strong one either. Speaking of which, just notice he's tiny. He's got a low centre of gravity, 170 centimetres. Should feel fairly neat on the ball, actually. He's not a dribbler in terms of his dribbling attribute. He's not got much pace, but with a bit of bounce about him and that low centre of gravity, yeah, he shouldn't feel too bad on the ball. But then the caveat is that as a centre midfielder, and especially playing as a DMF, you'd probably want a bit more physical strength than a small guy. But yeah, some qualities there. He's got some of the most important skills, only really lacking one-touch pass. Certainly defensively, he's fairly strong. Technically, I'd like a bit more from him. Ultimately, he's not too bad of a card, but he's not a brilliant one either. And now we have Guilbert, as you probably say. I'll just call him Guilbert. We've got a defensive fullback. They've added a few positions. He's normally only got right back, but they've added right midfield, centre back, and left back. I don't think he's strong enough defensively to play centre back. I don't think he's got enough going forward to play right midfield. He's got high lofted pass, to be fair. If we have a quick look at his skills, let's start with his skills because, yeah, he does have pinpoint crossing, so you could maybe get away with him as a right mid. Stamina's not too bad. Maybe he's a right wing back. Yeah, maybe. So, yeah, looking at the skills, they've added scissors feint, through passing is a nice one, and outside curler. That's a handy one to have as well. Like I said, he's got pinpoint crossing, interception, sliding tackle, captaincy and fighting spirit. So he's got all the skills you really need for a right back. Like I say, I don't see this guy as being a viable centre back. He's not. Well, he's got a fairly strong weaker foot, and he does have outside curler actually. So you could get away on the left if you need the left back. He's right-footed, but you can use his weaker foot. So left back is an option. How good is he as a fullback though? Pace, not too sure. He's not slow, but he's not as quick as I'd like a fullback to be. Physical contact is decent for a fullback. Jumping lightwise, jumping is going to get to 80 with the game plan boost, so that's good for a fullback. Balance, it's not too bad. I'd like a bit more, but it could be worse, certainly. Stamina, again, I'd like it to be a bit higher. So yeah, these attributes here, yeah, physically kind of strong, but the other ones, I would like them to be a little bit higher. Not too bad, but not brilliant. His defensive attributes here, I think, are pretty decent. I think for a fullback, that's decent. You can't really complain there at all. On the ball, a little bit iffy. You know, the ball control is kind of just about okay-ish. Dribbling's not great. Tight possession's a bit dodgy. So yeah, you're going to need to be careful with this guy. I'm not sure how he's going to feel particularly comfortable on the ball. Low pass, 80 is fine for a fullback. That's fairly decent. And 87, as I mentioned, with pinpoint crossing, he's got a good cross on him. He's not got a great deal of curl or kicking power, though. So, yeah, something to be mindful of there. But certainly the most important one for crossing, 87, he's got pinpoint crossing, so he's got a cross on him. I think as a fullback, I always say this, I like fullbacks to be a bit more confident on the ball. That's a bit of a concern for me. And athletically, he's a little bit lacking. He's a little bit shy of where I'd want him to be. As a wing-back, same kind of situation, really. I think you're basically looking at this guy as either a defensive right-back, in which case he can defend, and he's got some end product with his passing, and he's kind of maybe he's a little bit shy of where he wanted to be athletically, but not too far off. Just a little bit dodgy on the ball, but a lot of people won't mind that on a defensive fullback. So as a defensive fullback, he could do a job for you. As a wing-back, bit more of a question mark over the technical ability, certainly on the ball, albeit he's got the passing and crossing. Could do a job there as well, but yeah. As with Abergel, the first player we looked at, he's got some qualities. Certainly could be a usable one, right back or left back. Maybe he's right wing back, but ultimately, as decent as he is, I'm not really looking for a decent player from a paid pack. It's not a great card, but yeah, certainly not a bad one. Now we have a left back. We've got Opéri. I hope I've said that right. I'm going to mispronounce a lot of these names, I imagine. So attacking left back, pace decent. Again, not amazing, but certainly speed's going past 90 with your game plan boost. I think don't think you can ask for much more than that from the speed. Acceleration, not brilliant, but it's decent enough with the speed going past 90. Decent kicking power. Physical contact, again, that's getting to 80 with the game plan boost. That's good for a fullback. Balance, a little bit questionable. Stamina, fantastic at 94 before your game plan boost. Defensively, it's the awareness is the question mark. 72 is low. I would like that to be higher. Tackling and engagement are fine, I think. And aggression, I think that's down to opinion for a lot of people. I don't personally mind if the aggression is low. There's your concern, though. Again, on the ball, it's horrible on the ball. On a defensive fullback, I think it's a bit more forgivable. But on an attacking fullback, I would want these attributes to be much higher. So, big concern for me there. Low pass, again, that's a bit too low for me. I don't want my players to be, giving the ball straight to the opposition in any positions, especially not defensive positions. Lofted pass is fine now at 83. That's good for fullback. Curl, kicking power, all three of the crossing attributes, 83. And if we look at the skills, he does have pinpoint crossing, so he's got a decent cross on him. He's got long range curler, long range shooting as well. I'm not sure if long range curler is ever really going to come into it. I guess he's got outside curler. Maybe you can go for a fancy Trivela curling shot, maybe on some occasions. But yeah, I'm not sure he's going to be doing a lot of shooting. Weighted pass is nice. As I mentioned, pinpoint crossing, outside curler. Then defensively, man marking, interception, sliding tackle. Captaincy is a nice bonus. So he's got some good skills defensively and going forward. Yeah, I think like Guilbert, or Guilbert, however you say it, you've got another fullback here who has some qualities, but there are some question marks on him. I'd like a bit more balance. I'd like a bit more defensive awareness, but certainly on the ball and with his low pass, those ones really bother me a lot. So, yeah, he's got some qualities. Compared to his GP card, they put a bit on his acceleration. His defenses are improved from his GP card. The technicals are up a bit as well, but still, yeah, like I say, the qualities might be there, but so are the weaknesses. Awareness is a bit low, and then technically here on the ball and with his low pass, for me, it just pissed me off. Again, this is a paid pack. You're putting coins into this pack, and for coins, I would want more from a player. So yeah, he's got quality. He's certainly not a terrible card, but another one that just for me isn't that great. From one attacking left back to another, we've got the same thing again. So quite versatile, this guy, actually. He's got defensive mid and centre mid, but with a low pass of 74, I'm not even going to look at that. There's no chance a player with low pass 74 is getting anywhere near either of those positions for me. As an attacking left back, pace, you can get away with that. I would like more on his speed and acceleration. Certainly I'd like at least one of those to get towards the 90 mark, so not ideal pace. Physical, I think, is okay for fullback. Balance, not too bad. Stamina's great, 91 before your game plan boost. The defensives here, I think, are good, apart from the engagements are a little bit questionable. Could be worse. Certainly the defensive awareness and tackling in the 80s is good. On the ball, we're a bit better now. I've seen a couple of fullbacks that look a bit dodgy on the ball, but this guy's a bit better. I still would like the control and dribbling to be higher. Tight possession, at least. It's not often you see tight possession higher than ball control and dribbling. That will get past the 80 mark, so that's nice. Low pass again, 74 is dodgy for me. Lofted 77, you can get away with that, but it's still not brilliant, even if he has pinpoint crossing. We'll check that now. And he does. So, compared to his GP card, they've added pinpoint crossing, actually. That's a new skill for this card. And Defensively, they've added man marking and sliding tackle alongside interception, which he already has. So defensively, good bunch of skills there. Pinpoint crossing going forward alongside one-touch pass, which is nice. Couple of skill moves there if you're a skiller. One-touch pass and pinpoint crossing, no, in terms of the end product, helpful. One-touch pass will compensate to some extent for his low pass when you're playing first-time passes. And pinpoint crossing, like I say, his lofted pass isn't brilliant, but it could be worse. Just don't ask too much of his crossing. Don't be trying to put crazy curling crosses in from miles out. Keep it simple, and his crossing should be decent enough. But yeah, if I'm brutally honest, it's the same thing again. We've got a player here who has some decent qualities, a few decent attributes. Stamina's great, but and the skill set is good as well, I have to say. But yeah, I wouldn't use him through the middle. Passing's nowhere near good enough. Left wing, I don't think he's got enough going forward for that. He's very much an attacking left back for me, and as much as he's got a few decent attributes and a good skill set, too many of these attributes for me just aren't that great. So again, in a pack where you're throwing coins at these players, I don't really see great value from this guy, unfortunately. So yeah, not a terrible card, but another one that's just not that great for me. Now we've got a centre forward, Mikautadze, Georgian fella. So we have a goal poacher who's not particularly fast. You know what I'm gonna say about that. Goal poachers for me need pace, and he's not particularly slow, but for a goal poacher, I want a bit more speed on him. Acceleration's decent enough at 85, but I want that speed at least mid-80s on a poacher to make those runs in behind the defence and really make the most of that playing style. Compared to his GP card, his acceleration is actually slightly worse. So is the balance. Apart from that, decent boost. Passing is at a nice boost. Still not brilliant though, although with the game plan boost you get into the 70 mark for low pass. So you can't really complain too much on the centre forward. On the ball though, in possession of the ball, not brilliant. Attacking awareness 84 on a 5-star centre forward is not great. Finishing is great. There's his biggest strength, and many would say that's the most important attribute on a centre forward. Finishing 90 before your game plan boost, very nice. So yeah, ultimately he's kind of alright, but he doesn't look like a 5-star card to me. Finishing brilliant, yeah, great 90. That's a big positive there. But elsewhere, what you're looking at here that's making you think is a good card. Passing, on the ball, awareness, the pace for a goal poacher, any of this, nothing for me really looks that great on this card, to be honest. Skill wise, they've added one-touch pass, which is nice, as well as improving his passing attributes significantly. And then in terms of taking chances, first time shot, acrobatic finishing, long range shooting, dipping shot, chip shot control, cut behind and turns, a nice little bonus. Yeah, he's got some qualities, this guy. He's got a good selection of skills for a centre forward, for a goal poacher, but in terms of the attributes, I'm afraid it's the same thing again. I mean, we started with the lowest rated cards. We are going to work our way onto some better ones, but we're still among the lower rated ones in this pack. And again, I've got to say the same thing again. One or two qualities there, but ultimately for a 5-star goal poacher centre forward, apart from the fact he's good at finishing, there's nothing else really about this guy to really make him a particularly interesting card for me. Now the cards are going to start getting a bit more interesting. So we've got a whole player, Cham. I'm guessing that's roughly how you pronounce that. So this guy, again, he's not amazing by any means, but we're getting a bit more interesting now. We've got a guy who's an attacking midfielder. From his GP card, they've added 3 positions. They've added SS, centre forward, and right wing forward. I think you could probably get him. He could probably do a job in all those positions, albeit striker's a bit of a stretch. Attacking race 83, finishing 81 is a bit of a stretch centre forward, I would say. But those other 3 positions, I think he could do a job. Compared to his GP card, they've given him a fair boost. I'll get the negatives out of the way first. His dribbling's down a bit. On this type of player, to reduce his dribbling on a player of the season card is just silly, in my opinion. I know I complain about this kind of thing a lot, but I can't not say that. Lofted pass slightly down as well. I don't think that's too important though, based on his positions. The fact he's a lefty as well. They have boosted a lot of things: finishing, low pass, attacking awareness, kicking power. He's had a pretty nice boost, apart from a couple of reductions there, especially the dribbling's annoying, but they boosted quite a bit here. It's a very nice boost on the whole. They've actually boosted his physical contact by 25. I mean, wow. I guess they got his GP card wrong then. But yeah, 25 boosted on his physical contact. Fair play. He's obviously been on the weights. But yeah, got a left-footed whole player. That playing style will be active attacking midfield and SS. He won't have an active playing style at centre forward. Like I say, I wouldn't personally put him there. As a right wing forward, he also won't have a playing style active. I think he could do a job there. He's got pretty decent pace. He's got a bit of balance about him. That physical contact's quite high for this type of player. It's not bad. On the ball though, again, I'm not going to keep going on about it, but the dribbling could be higher, should be higher, is higher on his GP card. So he's not brilliant on the ball. So as a wide right forward there, right wing forward, whatever you call it, I'm not sure that's his best position. For me, AMF or SS, he's got a decent low pass there, finishing 81 as well. He can pass and shoot based on the attributes. So for me, AMF or SS, making those attacking ones as a whole player, I think those two positions he could be pretty neat. If we look at this guy's skills, they've added double touch. The dribblers will be pleased about that. They've added heading. They've added outside curler, and that's it. So we've got through passing. It's a shame he's not got one touch pass, but through passing is a nice one to have. Long range curler. So if you play him on the right as a left footer coming inside, he will have a long range curler along with 81 finishing. So that's good. He's got a shot on him. I'm going to say through passing means you can create chances as well. He should have a nice through pass on him. Outside curl is a nice one to have. He's a super sub as well, worth noticing. So yeah, he's got a bit of end product. I don't think that heading score is really going to come into it, but certainly with a bit of passing ability, a bit of shooting ability, both in terms of his skills and his attributes. It's just a shame he's not a bit better on the ball. If he was a bit better on the ball, I think this could be a really nice card. I still don't think it's a bad card though. I think it's a useful one. I think he's one where, as a super sub especially, if he's got form in any given week, you stick him on your bench, he could be one who could come on and do a decent job for you, wide right or through the middle, or starting maybe. It depends what players you got in these positions. I think most of us have better options in these positions, to be fair, by now, if you've been playing the game a while. But if you've not, yeah, he could be a decent one. I think the only frustration for me is I'd like him to be a little bit better on the ball, especially with the dribbling, but he does have a good awareness. He can pass, he can shoot. He's got decent pace. Whole player playing style, I think he's best AMF or SS. Could certainly do a job in those two positions, and he's got some decent skills. So yeah, it's not a brilliant card, but it's certainly the best one we've looked at so far in this pack, and I think it could be a reasonably useful card. And now we have our Player of the Season Aubameyang card. So it's one of the better versions of Aubameyang we've had, actually. Centre forward, can play as a left wing forward. Nothing's changed with his positions or his playing style. In terms of his attributes, they've taken a bit off his acceleration, a bit off his balance, frustratingly, which was already a bit low. Stamina's down a little bit as well, but they've actually boosted quite a bit as well. On the whole, he's actually had a pretty nice boost. His dribbling especially has had a big boost, so that's a positive. If you like dribbling, then you'll be very pleased about that. Have a quick look at his skills. Oh, he's got inconsistent form, and that's a bit of a shame. Having a quick look at his skills, they've taken away knuckle shot. I think we can live without that. And they've added one touch pass. I think for me that's a fair trade. One touch pass, a nice addition on a striker or any kind of forward. Got first time shot, most important one on a striker. Acrobatic finishing, dipping shot, chip shots, long range curler. Heel trick's a nice one. Outside curler likewise. So this guy can finish. Long range curler, if you play him on the left, will be useful. He does have pace and he's got a bit more dribbling than other versions of him. So yeah, he could be viable playing wide left, to be fair. Won't have an active playing style there. And I do think he's best suited as a centre forward. And we do have, for once, a goal poacher who has the pace to make the most of that playing style. Acceleration is not brilliant, but it's decent enough. But certainly speed, getting up to 90 plus with your game plan boost, that suits his playing style well. It's a shame he's not got a bit more balance. He's got a bit of physical contact, to be fair, though. On the ball, reasonably tidy, especially with that dribbling boost as a centre forward. Awareness 90 is great. Finishing 85, would like it to be a bit higher, but it's not disastrously bad. Passing decent. He's got one touch pass as well. So yeah, it's a pretty decent version of Aubameyang, to be honest. If you're a fan of this guy, if he's played for a team that you support, especially if you're a Marseille fan, I think it's a pretty decent version of him, to be honest. I don't know how many more good versions of him there are going to be. The age he's at, the stage of his career he's at, so that this one might appeal to you. And like I say, and regardless of whether you're a fan of the guy, if you pick this guy up, if you like using a goal poacher centre forward, he does have the pace. He does definitely have the awareness. Tidy enough on the ball, decent enough passing. It's just the finishing, I think, to be honest. The finishing and the balance are the two that I'd like to be a bit higher. Certainly the balance. So those two are probably the concerns for me, and they're the reasons why he's not higher rated. But outside of those two slight concerns, he's got the qualities as a goal poacher. He could certainly do a job. So yeah, it's a decent version of Aubameyang, that. And now we have the best version of Dante that we've had on the game. He's been changed from a build-up to a destroyer. That's not everyone's cup of tea. I personally would have much preferred build-up. If it was a build-up, I'd have been quite tempted to try and go for this guy. But a lot of people won't mind that. So there are plenty of people who like the destroyer playing style. So yeah, change of playing style there. Still a centre-back, no new positions added. They've given him a pretty big boost to his pace. He needed that, let's be honest. So now he's got much more respectable pace, shall we say, for centre-back. Still not quick, but he was very slow on it. He is very slow on his GP card. Lost a bit of his defensive engagement. That's a shame. You think if he's one of the best centre backs in the league across the season, his engagement shouldn't be lower than it normally is. But it is what it is. He has had a boost across the board. It's a good version. Like I say, it's the best version of Dante we've had. Down the left here, where you can expect a bit of a boost, I think we've got some reasonable attributes. We're past 70 on ball control, low enough to pass, so that's nice. The defensive there, even though he's lost a bit off his engagement, it's still not disastrously low. Still a bit of a concern, especially on the destroyer. Destroyers will step up sometimes. They are aggressive by nature. His aggression is going to get to around the 90 mark with the game plan boost, and his awareness and tackling 92 and 95 before the game plan boost. That's fantastic. Jumping, not brilliant. He's just shy of 6'3". If he's got aerial superiority, he'll be okay. Physical contact 87 again. He's getting up to around the 90 mark ish with the game plan boost. So he's physically strong, unwavering form. We look at the skills. Does he have aerial superiority? He does. So he won't be amazing in the air with only 80 for jumping, but he'll be decent enough. Heading as well, and then weighted pass is nice. Low and lofted pass over 70 already. So weighted pass, he should have pretty decent passing for a centre back. Man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle, captaincy, fighting spirit. I think acrobatic clearance is the only one I don't see there. I'm not sure he's missing anything else as a centre back. A bunch of these have been added for this card as well, worth noting. So interception, blocker, sliding tackle, and fighting spirit. All of those skills have been added for this card. So yeah, all things considered, this is a really good version of Dante. It's the best version statistically. Adding those skills as well. I think the only concern some might have is you might not like the fact he's a destroyer. If you don't mind the fact that change him to a destroyer, and if you like this guy, I think it's a really nice version of him. It's the best version we've had so far. I think it's a pretty usable version. And even if you're not a fan of his, I think he can certainly do a job for you. And he still has his magnificent hair. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting Dante card, that. Now we have Savanier from Montpellier. So, quite a few people like this guy. He's quite small. He's pretty nice on the ball, although he's not the quickest. He's getting a bit older now. He's lost a bit of his pace. He was never the quickest, really, in the first place. It's a pretty similar card to a previous one. I think it was about a year ago. It was like a fan's choice. It seems like this year they're not going to do the fan's choice anymore. They're just going to choose their own players for these types of pack. The ones with one player from each team in the league. I don't mind as long as they choose the right players, to be honest. But yeah, he was in that fan's choice. This one goes to about the same. I think they're both 93. A few stats slightly higher, a few slightly lower. Ultimately, pretty much the same. Compared to his GP card, lost a little bit off his dribbling, a little bit off his lofted pass. His acceleration and balance are slightly down from his GP card. But he's had a tidy boost to his low pass and his finishing. And across the board, a slight boost. Ultimately, it's a decent version of Savanier. No change to his skills. One touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, pinpoint crossing. You can certainly create goals. Long range shooting along with dipping shot. He's got some end product. That finishing is going to hit 80 with the game plan boost. Low pass is going to get to 90. He's tidy on the ball. Attacking awareness is good at 80. He's a creative playmaker. He won't be too aggressive with his forward runs, but he will get forward. That pace really is the one weakness, to be honest. He's not the quickest. For a small guy who lacks strength, you want a bit of pace to be able to get away from defenders. So a bit of a concern. But he's got a lot of qualities, this guy. Good kicking power, decent balance. Stamina's not too bad. He probably is going to get tired, though. Unwavering form. Yeah, ultimately, he's going to be a neat little playmaker. I wouldn't even consider him DMF. Can't defend and save his life. Likewise, CMF. You're just going to waste him playing him that deep when he's got all the attacking abilities he's got. As an attacking midfielder, creative playmaker. Technically very tidy. He's tidy on the ball. He's got the passing. He's got the shooting. He's got good attacking awareness. He should be fairly nimble on the ball even without too much pace. So yeah, it's a good version of Savanier. And I think for people who are a fan of this guy, it could be a neat one to pick up. And likewise, if you don't like the guy, if you get him from this pack, give him a try because yeah, he isn't the quickest by any means, but in my experience, he's a pretty neat one. He's a fairly fun card to have. So yeah, pretty neat card. And this, I believe, is the first feature version we've had of Del Castillo. He's had a very good season. So, he's got the usual positions. He's a prolific winger. That'll be active as a wing forward either side. It won't be an active playing style left mid or right mid. So if you play him left mid or right mid, he won't have an active playing style. From his GP card, he's lost a little bit of balance. He's lost a little bit of ball control for some reason and a little bit of tight possession. But outside of that, he's got a pretty nice boost to his speed. His passing's had a nice boost as well, and his finishing. So speed, passing, finishing, nice boost for all of those. He has had a slight reduction to a couple as well, but on the whole, yeah, I think it's a pretty tidy boost, especially those areas with his pace and his end product. Very significant improvement from his GP card. He is left-footed. Does he have pinpoint crossing? What side is he best on? He does. So you could play him on the left. He's got long-range curler as well, though. So play him on the left, put some crossing. He's not got amazing crossing, only 80 lofted pass, but reasonable. On the right-hand side, finishing 83. Kicking power's getting to 80 with the game plan boost. Curl's going to get to around the 80 mark. So with long-range curler, I think he's probably better on the right-hand side, cutting in onto his left foot and using that shooting ability. One-touch pass and through passing as well, so he can pass it as well as shooting. Weighted pass as well. Outside curl's a nice one. So yeah, he's got the passing, he's got the shooting. He's not got amazing attributes of passing and shooting, but I think for a winger, the passing is okay. The crossing is reasonable. Not brilliant, but with the finishing at 83, I think that's good for a winger. I think that's the focus for me. You can get away with them on the left, pace, decent on the ball, got a bit of a cross on him. Certainly as a left winger is usable, but I think on the right-hand side, cutting inside into his left foot with his shooting ability and the fact that he can pick a pass as well, I think that's where he'd be best used. You get the most out of him on the right as an inverted winger. Out of those skills, before I forget, they added one-touch pass and through passing and long-range goal and long-range shooting. So yeah, these four have all been added on this card. So if you like this guy, this is a good version of him. Very good. Long-range curler and shooting, one-touch pass, through passing. Great skills to add. They took away cut behind and turn and low lofted pass. Bit of a shame, but I think you can certainly afford to lose those two to have those four added there. So yeah, they've done some good work on his skills. One or two annoying reductions, only slight ones, but some very nice increases on his speed, his passing and his finishing. So yeah, if you're a fan of this guy, it's a great version of him to get. If you're not a fan of him, you're not familiar with him, he's got good pace. He's decent on the ball, not amazing. He's got a bit of end product. He's a decent card, not an amazing one. If you don't have an emotional reason to sign him, you don't like the guy, you don't support the team he plays for, I think it's Brestois, then I think, being brutally honest, not a bad card by any means. Certainly got quality. He's got pace, got a bit of end product. Could be a decent one to pick up, but not an elite level one by any means. He's not a kind of top level card, but yeah, it's got some qualities there. Fans of him will really love this card. If you're not a fan, he's a decent enough one to pick up. You might quite like him. He's versatile as well. Can play on the left, I think. Best used on the right though. Good shooting ability, cutting in onto his left foot. Can pass as well. Good pace. Yeah, not amazing, but a pretty decent card that. My boy, Junior Ito. I got a legend version of this guy with the Japan pack a couple of years back now. He's been absolutely brilliant for me. I still renew his contract sometimes. This is one of the better versions of him that we've had since then. It goes to the same overall 93 as that legend card. So yeah, it's up there with the better versions of Ito. He's very much a right winger. He's got the pace. He can dribble. Bit of end product. Looking at what they've changed from his GP card. Well, first things first, they've changed his playing style. It's interesting. His GP card's a prolific winger. Same position. So on his GP card, he's got prolific winger playing style active as a right wing forward, but no active playing style right wing field because prolific winger's not active there. On this card, he's a whole player. So he's got the whole player playing style active as a right midfielder, but not as a right wing forward. So that could, if you only play with wide forwards and not wide midfielders, that could be an annoyance for you. For me personally, not a problem because I use wide midfielders and I don't use wide forwards. So the fact he's got a playing style active as a wide midfielder now, that would be an upgrade for me. Obviously, it doesn't really apply since I've got the legend card, albeit I might get this one and use this moving forward. Quite tempted by it. But yeah, whole player, active at right midfield, be very aggressive with his attacking runs, albeit his attacking awareness could be a bit higher. It is a bit higher on his GP card. That's annoying. His balance is slightly lower than his GP card as well. And tight possessions are also a little bit lower than a GP card. But his passing has been boosted a bit. His finishing has been boosted a bit. So on the whole, it is a decent version. All these cards, we seem to have one or two attributes taken down a little bit. But they are good versions on the whole. They're obviously all boosted on the whole. And like I say, with this guy with Ito, passing and finishing. They've improved his end product. Some versions of it are even the kind of player of the weeks and featured versions of them in the past. Some of them aren't great with the end product, so we can at least pass and cross a little bit here. I'm pretty sure he's got pinpoint crossing. We'll check in a second. Finishing as well, gets that 80 with the game plan boost, so we can shoot. But yeah, pace, dribbling, a bit of end product. That's what you want from a winger, really. And as a whole player right midfielder, the big downside for me is that attacking wear. So I wish that was a little bit higher, but unwavering form there. He seems to get ALB form fairly often as well in real life. Looking at the skills, what have we got? They've taken away heel trick. That's a bit of a shame. And cut behind and turn. But they've added stole control, long range shooting, and one-touch pass. So I think it's a fair trade. We've got some good skills added there. Soul control is a nice one. I'm not sure I've seen that on Ito before. Long range curler and long range shooting. He doesn't have outside curler in his right foot, so I'm not sure when exactly long range curler is going to really come into play. It's a bit of a redundant skill, I think, for the most part. But long range shooting certainly is a nice one to add. One-touch pass is always a nice one on any kind of attacking player. Through passing, so he can pass. Pinpoint crossing as well. Gamesmanship, and then he's a super sub. He's always a super sub, this guy. He's a neat super sub to have. He's come off the bench for me quite a few times and done a good job. But yeah, with a bit of passing and crossing with those skills, he doesn't have amazing passing or lower lofted pass attributes, but they're both at least 80 plus before the game plan boost. So don't ask too much of him, but his passing and his crossing should be decent enough. And then again, with the finishing 78 getting to 80 with the game plan boost, it's a tidy winger. As with Del Castillo, who we just looked at, he's a tidy option. I think people who are a fan of this guy, this is a good version of him. I'm quite tempted. A lot of players in this pack, 18, so depends how many cards in there there are that I want. If there's only a few that I want, I don't think I'll risk it. It's not good odds, but certainly this card to me is a decent version of Ito. What you want from a winger is you want pace and dribbling, you want some end product, and you've got that. I think one of the things it will come down to is the fact he's right-footed. A lot of people prefer inverted wingers, being able to cut inside and shoot and pass. This guy's obviously a right-footer. He will get into some interesting positions as a whole player, so he won't just be hugging the touchline like a cross specialist, for example. But he is a right-footer on the right-hand side, and he does have crossing. So to get the most value out of him, I think using him as an old-school winger, putting crosses in, that's probably the best way to use him. But as I say, he can pass, he can pick a through pass, he's got some shooting ability as well. So with that whole player playing style, if you need more right wing options, he's certainly not a bad one to pick up. He's pretty decent. He's got what you want from a winger already, with the pace, the dribbling, a bit of end product, unwavering form as well, and a super sub. So yeah, all things considered, I would like that attacking awareness to be a bit higher. That's a real frustration for me. But outside of that, I think he's a pretty tidy right winger, this guy. And now we have a bit of a PES legend. This guy used to be an amazing 3-star player back in the My Club days. He's pretty decent here. He's had a nice boost from his GP card. They boosted pretty much everything except, and you're not going to believe this, jumping. So again, a goalkeeper card that's based on being being one of the best performers in his league, and apparently he can't jump as high as he normally can. I'm never going to stop having that rant. Please just stop doing it, Konami. It's plain stupid. But these attributes, as I say, have been boosted. The awareness at 85, I would like that to be higher. It's frustrating. He's going to get up to sort of 87, 88 with the game plan boost, but I like any 5-star keepers to get to the 90 mark, at least once they've got the game plan boost. So that's a little bit low for me. Catching 80, a little bit low again. Parrying 77, yeah, we're getting a bit dodgy there. Not too keen on these first three attributes. He does have some good ones with the last two though. Reflex is 91, reach 90. The guy is 6'5", I think that is. So he's a big tall guy with 90 for reach before the game plan boost. He's going to have excellent coverage of his goal, and he's got excellent reflexes. So this guy's definitely got qualities, but these first three attributes for me aren't as high as I'd like them to be. I'm not sure how comfortable I'll be with him. In terms of the kind of balance of these attributes, they're pretty similar to a version of Donnarumma that I had, which I released. So looking at this guy, he's not as good as that card, and with the bouncing being similar and these attributes not being as high as I'd like him to be, I'm not too sure how good this guy would be, really. Inconsistent form as well, so yeah, he's got some qualities. If you like this guy, you might be pleased to pick him up, but with some of these attributes not being as high as I'd like them to be, like I said with some of the early cards in this pack, it's a paid pack, and I just don't think he quite makes the grade as a 5-star keeper for me. And now straight on to another keeper. Got Anthony Lopes from Lyon. This guy does look good, to be fair. Again, they've boosted pretty much everything except jumping. I've literally just had that rant, so I won't have it again. But in terms of the important attributes, though, the more important attributes, awareness 88, that's getting 90 with the game plan boost. Catching 86 is pretty decent. Parrying 90 is great. Reflexes 92 is fantastic. That's the only real concern for me. Goalkeeper reach 84. He's only 6 foot tall, so that's the one weakness. 84, I want that to be higher. If a goalie's that short, and he's not short, but for a goalkeeper, you want him to be taller than 6 foot. If he's only going to be 6 feet tall, you need more reach. I want that to be pushing it right up towards the kind of high 80s or 90s. So there is a weakness for me there. But I've got to say, with the awareness, the parrying and reflexes all going up to the 90 plus with the game plan boost, catching in the high 80s, I think you can begrudge him that lack of reach. It is a weakness. It is something to be concerned about, but the other attributes are really, really good. So, yeah, a weakness to be very mindful of with this guy if you get him, but he does have some really good attributes elsewhere. So, ultimately, I think on the whole, this is a pretty good goalkeeper. And next up, we have Bourigeaud. Box-to-box centre midfield. He's got a few positions. They've added right wing forward. He doesn't have them on his GP card. He has had a fairly decent boost across the board, although again, there's a few that are slightly down from his GP card. He's lost a bit of his speed and his kicking power, annoyingly. His lofted pass is slightly down as well. Strange. But yeah, across the board, he has had a bit of a boost. As you can see, he's got some real qualities here. That ball control 88 is getting 90 with the game plan boost. Attack awareness is hitting 80. Low passes already at the 90 mark. Finishing's not brilliant, but not too bad. He's got a bit of defensive ability. Not great, though. We'll have to look at his skills and we'll see what positions he's best in. Pace, not the quickest. He's not disastrously slow, but he's certainly not the quickest either. Not sure how suitable he's going to be for right wing, but again, we'll look at the skills in a moment. Kicking power is getting past 80 with the game plan boost. Bit of physical contact on him, not a great deal, though. Balance is okay. Stamina, decent. I think as a centre mid, he'd probably get tired, though, box to box. In fact, he will. Box to box, 86 stamina. Yeah, he's getting tired in the middle of the park. Unwavering form is good. Let's have a look at the skills, though. They've added just one skill to what he's got on his GP card. They've added first time shot. He does already have long range shooting, rising shot, long range curve. So finishing attributes not too bad. Not brilliant, though, but he's got some skills to back it up. So he's got some reasonable shooting ability. One touch pass, weighted pass, pinpoint crossing. Through passing is a big miss. I really would like through passing on this guy. He's clearly more of an offensive minded midfielder than a defensive one. He wants to get forward and join the attack and stuff. So yeah, through passing, big miss for me. Penalty specialist, captaincy, fair enough. 2 little bonuses at the end there. But yeah, through passing, big miss. And the fact they've taken a little bit off his lofted pass when he's got pinpoint crossing, he's going to have a decent cross on him, but it's quite annoying they've done that. But nonetheless, looking at it in isolation, 85 for lofted pass, 81 curl, kicking power's going over 8 with the game plan boost as well, so he's got a decent cross on him. One of these are wingers who, again, I always mention Beckham, he's the classic example, but you can use him on the right, but that's the kind of player he's going to be kind of similar to it stylistically. No real pace about him, but technically very tidy enough on the ball, certainly with the ball control getting to 90, and he's obviously got the ability with his, certainly his lofted pass and pinpoint crossing, he can put a cross in, so he could be a slow but productive right midfielder, putting crosses in. He doesn't have through passing, but he does have 90 low pass, so his passing will be pretty good. Just frustrating, it's not going to be even better without that through pass skill. But yeah, big lack of pace on the right wing, so I'm not sure how many people would find him effective there. Through the middle, DMF, don't even think about it. He's not got interception. His defensive ability is not great. Centre midfield, depends on your system. It depends you're playing a diamond, you're playing a double pivot, what kind of system you're using. Depending what system you are using, if you've got 1 or 2 other midfielders doing the defensive work as a kind of attacking box-to-box centre mid, certainly there's a little bit of defensive ability there. Certainly he can pass the ball. He's tidying up in possession. He's got good attacking awareness. He's got a bit of shooting ability as well. So yeah, he could do a job as a centre mid. I think it's just a question of where you're going to use him. He could do a job as a centre mid for some people. He could do a job as a right winger for some people. It just depends, which of his attributes concern you the most, because he's got the 1 or 2 weaknesses, whichever position you play him in. But if the weaknesses don't concern you in any position, and if you're more focused on what strengths he's got and they work for you, he could be an effective player either on the right or through the middle. Just depends on what suits you. So for some people, not going to be much cop this guy, but for some people he could be pretty effective. Just depends what suits you really. And now we've got John Dave from Lille. So, this is an interesting looking card. We have had one that went slightly higher, went to 96. I'm pretty sure that was in one of those kind of legend boxes. There was also one in, I think it was, like with Savanier, I think it was the kind of fans' choice one a year ago, which goes to the same level as this one, 95. But yeah, outside of that one that went slightly higher, this is one of the better versions of John David, whatever you want to call him. Goal poacher, and he's got the attributes where you need them for a goal poacher, to be honest. Compared to his GP card, got a little bit less acceleration, a little bit less stamina, but they boosted his kicking power, they boosted his physical contact. Nice boost on those two, and apart from that, it's a nice enough boost across the board, to be honest. I think this is a good version of this guy. Like I say, with the pace for a goal poacher, that's good. He's got great pace that suits his playing style perfectly. Bit of jumping and physical contact is good. I'm going to look at his skills in a second as well. Balance, would like it to be a bit higher, but it's certainly not bad. Tidy enough on the ball, but the important ones, attacking, awareness and finishing. If you've got an 88 rated manager, the awareness and finishing are both hitting 90, so 90 plus in the awareness, the finishing and the pace on a goal poacher, you're in business. I think this is a pretty good looking card for a goal poacher. As I mentioned, we're going to look at the skills. 74 heading, 78 jumping, that's getting to 80 with the game plan boost, and physical 83, which has had a nice boost. We look at the skills. They've added heading. He doesn't have aerial superiority. One of his player of the week cards did, but he's got heading. And they've also added long range curler and rising shot. And they've taken away scissors feint, heel trick, it's a bit of a shame, and gamesmanship. So he's got a bit of aerial ability from crosses. He's by no means going to be dominant. He's not the tallest, what's that, like 5'9" maybe. But with heading there, a bit of jumping and physical there, certainly compared to his GP card. He might get the end of some crosses for you. First line shot, the most important one on centre forward, obviously. One touch pass is nice to have. Outside curl is a handy one. A few skill moves as well for the dribblers. Yeah, I like this guy. I like this card, to be honest. I think it's a decent one. I actually got the player of the week one that's got aerial superiority. Even that one's not dominant in the air, to be fair. So he's not going brilliant in the air, but like I say, he could get the end of some crosses for you. He's got heading. But the main strengths for this guy as a goal poacher centre forward, with the pace, the awareness, the finishing, he's tidy enough on the ball. Passing is not too bad, especially with one touch pass. I think it's a pretty nice centre forward, to be honest. In terms of the other positions he's got, SS and AMF, I wouldn't put him there. His passing is not good enough. I mean, there's not much more to it. You need a guy to be able to pass the ball in those areas. But yeah, just looking at him in his main position as a goal poacher centre forward, I think he's neat. He's got a good skill set. The most important attributes are up to the kind of the 90 mark with the game plan boost, and elsewhere he's decent enough as well. So yeah, unwavering form as well. Nice little bonus. If you like Jonathan David, if you like goal poacher centre forwards, I think this is a good card. And now we have a card where I can't complain about what they've done compared to his GP card, because they don't seem to have taken any points away from anywhere. They've just boosted him, to be honest. And this is a good card. So he's a destroyer, centre back, same playing style and position as his GP card, 6'3", good height for a centre back. These defensive attributes are looking very nice. You've got 3 over 90 plus already before the game plan boost, and if you've got an 88 rated manager, awareness will complete the set. So with a good enough manager, all 4 of these defensive attributes can be 90 plus in the game plan. Good pace for a centre back. Jumping 84, he's 6'3". We'll check his skills in a second. If he's got aerial superiority, then that'll be fine. He'll be decent in the air. Physical contact 90 before your game plan boost is great. Bounce is a bit horrible. Likewise, the dribbling and tight possession. So be careful on the ball. Ball control isn't too bad though. Low and lofted pass, not too bad for a centre back. Certainly low passes going past 70 with your game plan boost. Heading 80. We're going to check those skills now. Does have heading. Does have aerial superiority. So he's quite a big guy, and ultimately I think he's going to be decent in the air. Man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance. I don't think they've changed any of his skills from his GP card. I think, is there anything missing there? Maybe fighting spirit. I think he's pretty much got the complete set for a centre back. So yeah, this for me, it's a really good strong centre back card, to be honest. I can't really pick out a weakness. He's a big physical guy, and as you'd expect with the balance and some of these technicals, he's not going to be great on the ball. You kind of expect that with a big strong centre back, so I can't really call that a weakness as such. Passing is okay. Defensives are strong. Down here, good pace. Physical and aerial, strong. This is a good, strong centre-back card. And unwavering form as well. So yeah, Good card, this. Now we're back to cards I can complain about, because I just paid for the France pack, and this guy's better than the guy that I just got. So my France pack Fofana goes to 94. I think there's been one other version that goes to 94 as well. This goes to 95, or it is 95, makes it the highest rate Fofana we've had. So yeah, if you just pay for the France pack and you're pleased with your Fofana, you'll probably be a bit annoyed, because on the whole, this guy's a bit better. The passing, I think, is a bit better on the France pack one, though, to be fair. The one or two attributes a bit high, a bit low, but ultimately, yeah, this is a bit better. It's the best version of Fofana that has been in the game. His lofted pass from his GP card is down a little bit. Likewise, the stamina, although the stamina is still just fine on the box-to-box centre mid. 80-90 going past 90 with the game plan boost. Wouldn't worry about that. He's had a pretty big boost on his acceleration. Ultimately, it's a good version of him, and they've given him a nice boost. All his defensives already at 80 plus before the game plan boost. He's tidy enough on the ball for box-to-box. Attacking awareness is all right. Passing, like I say, the France pack one, that's the big advantage the France pack one has. You can get that passing a good few higher than this. The passing is not brilliant, but it's still decent. Finishing gets to 70 with your game plan boost. Pretty good pace. Certainly very decent pace for a centre midfielder. Kicking power is decent. Physically very strong. Balance is getting to 80 with your game plan boost. Stamina, as I mentioned, you're going plus 90 with your game plan boost. He's got unwavering form. This is a strong box-to-box centre midfielder. If we look at his skills, they've taken away weighted pass, but they have given us through passing, big addition. And they've also given us aerial superiority, that's a nice one to have, and blocker. This is a really good version of Fofana. One touch pass, through passing, load off the pass. It's a shame they took weighted pass away, but for the ones that they've given us, I think that's a fair trade. Defensively, man marking, interception, blocker, aerial superiority has been added, sliding tackle, captaincy, fighting spirit. So, yeah, this guy, I think as an all-round box-to-box centre midfielder, is a really good card. I would like his passing to be a little bit higher, but I'm probably being a bit greedy with that. He's fine down the left-hand side. He's good down the middle. He's good down the right. CMF or DMF with that box-to-box playing style active in both positions, I think. As a DMF, if you wanted him to be an out-and-out DMF, you could put the defensive instruction on him to stop him running forward. I don't think he's exceptional defensively, though. I think he's best in a kind of double pivot and just doing that all-round role as a box-to-box, covering every blade of grass, doing a bit of everything, getting up and down the pitch. It's a really strong version of Fofana. It's the best we've had in the game. Like I say, on the whole, it's better than the one we just had from the France pack, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, if you get this guy, I think you've got a really good centre midfielder on your hands. The last card is Dembélé, and again, it's a slightly better version than the one in the France pack. That's annoying, but nonetheless, it's a good card. There's been one previous version that went to 97. I think another one that went to 96. That might be the one that I got previously of him. This one goes to 96 as well, so it's one of the best versions of Dembélé that we've had. Inconsistent form, that's a bit of a shame. Very two-footed, that's always the case with Dembélé. Compared to his GP card, he's actually a little bit worse on the ball. That's one thing with the one from the France pack if you got it. Overall, it doesn't quite go to this as high a rating, but you can make it better on the ball. And his GP card with auto allocation, like I say, is slightly better on the ball than this one, which is annoying. But they're giving him a nice boost on his end product from his GP card. So the passing and shooting is up a bit. Let's have a look at his skills. They've taken away cut behind and turn, heel trick, and Rabona. They've added flip flap. The dribblers will be pleased about that, because if I'm not mistaken, double touch, flip flap, soul control, you've got ball roll now. So you've got a Dembélé who goes to 96 with ball roll. I think the dribblers will be very pleased about that. They've also given him long range curler and long range shooting, so bit of a boost on his end product in terms of the attributes, and they've given him long range curler and long range shooting. We've already got through passing and pinpoint crossing, so with some skills to back up the passing and the shooting, he's got a bit of end product. He's not as good as he could have been on the ball, but he's still good. Attacking awareness, I would like it to be a bit higher, but it's not too bad. He's got great pace. The kicking power's all right. Decent balance. Stamina sucks. He's going to get tired. Be very careful with that. You're going to have to sub him off or use him as a sub. Yeah, like I say, he's one of the higher rated versions of Dembélé. I think the one big downside with this one is that you can't train it. Obviously, the France pack one, it doesn't go to quite as high a rating, but the fact that you can train it, I think I'm almost happier to have that version, even though it doesn't get quite as good technically as this one. Obviously, you can put skills on those ones as well. So, yeah, it's pros and cons, really. But ultimately, if you do get this card, unless you've got a version of Dembélé that's better, like I say, there was a 97. There's the one that goes to the same rating, 96, that I had previously. And obviously, you can train that one, which is an advantage. Outside of those two, I think anyone who gets this card, you can be very pleased. He's very two-footed. You can play him on the right, on the left. You can go inside or outside, pass, shoot, cross. Inconsistent forms of bummer, but yeah, ultimately with the pace, the dribbling, the end product, and like I say, for the skillers, if I'm right about him having ball roll now with that combination of skills, I think for the dribblers will be very, very pleased about that, and they'll find this card very appealing. So yeah, some pros and cons compared to a few other previous versions of Dembélé, but ultimately this is a very good card. It's a good version of Dembélé. So there you go. You've got 18 players in this pack. It's a coin pack. So if you're looking at players in this pack and they appeal to you, thinking you want this guy, you want that guy, just ask yourself, are you willing to spend, 1,800 coins to get the players you want? For me personally, I'm not convinced. Are there good cards in there? Hell yeah. Dembélé is a good card. Fofana's a good card. Danso is a good card. John Dave's a good card. I think those four are the picks for me. I think those four are clearly the strongest cards in the pack. Lopes outside of his reach is actually very good as well. A lot of these other ones, it just depends what kind of player you like. For some people, Bourigeaud could be a good card. Ito, I think for a lot of people, could be a really, really fun card to pick up. Castillo could be decent. Savanier, Aubameyang, yeah, maybe. Is Dante possibly a good one as well? I'm not too sure about Lafont. And as for the rest of these ones, Cham doesn't look too bad. I wish he was a little bit better on the ball. If he was a bit better on the ball, it could be a really nice card. But he still could be decent in one or two positions. These other five here, I think these are the duds. I wouldn't really particularly want to get any of these. So yeah, it's a mixed bag. I always say this. They're always a mixed bag. It's not often you get a pack where they're all great, obviously. But certainly there are some cards in here that I think are very, very nice. And a few where if they suit you, you could end up with enough cards in here that it could be well worth spinning for. But yeah, it's up to you whether this pack's worth spinning on. But certainly there are some very good cards in there. And hopefully this video has helped you to make your decision on whether to spin on it. So yeah, there you go. Hope you found that useful. Thank you as always for watching. Do appreciate it. I'll see you soon.